Hey, welcome back to another conversation from the Neutral Ground. And today we're joined by Marcus Brown. Well, let him tell you who he is with Entergy. Describe your day job, if you will.
Sure. My day job, I'm the Executive Vice President and General Counsel for Entergy. And so in that job, I work with 5 great teams, corporate communications, legal, external affairs, ethics and compliance, and our Chief Security Officer. So I've got a lot of great people I work with every day, and I've been doing it a long time. So I've learned to stay out of people's way and let good people do their work.
Lots of responsibility. That sounds like a heady task.
When anybody runs off that many different groups, it means that they've got a lot of really talented people who work with them.
Yeah.
I am not doing any of that stuff every day. There are talented people who are doing it.
Well, it sounds like the team has a good leader.
Well, we try.
Leader. So we're at the Superdome, the Caesars Superdome today for a good reason.
Yeah.
Because you have now been given another title as chair of the Super Bowl host committee.
Right.
Which, if I recall, we're about 11 months and 15 days away from kickoff. By the time we air this,
it is close. We're on the clock, but everybody's excited, and I know, you know that we had a press event the other day, and it was incredible the number of people who came out from the state, the city, the business community. Everybody's really excited about this one-year journey we have between now and the kickoff of the Super Bowl.
So it really started in earnest. The day after the Super Bowl, you wake up in Las Vegas and you go to this event with Roger Goodell.
Yeah.
And the host committee from Vegas literally passed a football down the row, handed it to Roger Goodell, who then handed it to representatives of the host committee, of which you were on the final end of that handoff.
Yeah.
How did it feel when you got the ball? Was it heavy or was it light?
Well, there were a few reactions I had when I got the ball. The first one was obviously don't fumble it. Don't drop the ball.
That's a good point.
Figuratively, literally. Secondly, you get this sense of responsibility because the NFL puts on the greatest game in the world. But it's a team sport, and that passing of the ball is very symbolic of this team now has the responsibility to put on this event. So you start to feel a little bit of the weight, a good weight, but the weight of the responsibility that is now on the city to do what it's done magnificently 10 other times already, which is to host the Super Bowl. This will be number 11 for us.
And that puts us in a tie with Miami.
It does.
And it's a very competitive process to land a Super Bowl.
Right.
But we've landed it now for the 11th time.
Yeah, and I think that says a lot about the city, but also I think it, when you think about what it takes to get a Super Bowl, the competition now is largely about, one, the stadium. I mean, people who build new stadiums generally get the game. But the state and the Saints have invested almost $500 million in the Louisiana Superdome. So in effect, when people come into this game in February of 2025, they're going to see virtually a new stadium. And it's going to have a great fan experience inside. But the city has done it 10 times. This will be number 11. It means that people love being here. People love coming back.
Well, I think it's a little known fact, but New Orleans, the Superdome, with the Saints experience on game day, is always voted at the top of fan experience.
Yeah. It was interesting being in Las Vegas and interacting with the locals, people who come to the Super Bowl all the time, and the media. The one constant was everybody was excited about coming to New Orleans. Las Vegas did a great job. It was a magnificent experience there, but everybody couldn't wait. They can't wait to get here. The things that they love about the city, they want to experience again. The things they miss, they can't wait to get back and see them again. So this is high on everybody's list.
Well, that's why New Orleans and Company is so excited about it too, because everybody loves coming here. And it's so approachable, walkable, all the things that people who land, get to the hotel, want to experience without having to wait and walk and travel and go far distances. It's just all within a quick walk.
I think when you think about the competitive landscape of being able to land the Super Bowl, the walkability, the footprint of this city is a real competitive advantage.
Yeah.
I mean, trying to flow traffic and people for an event that is, the Super Bowl is going to start on time. And so people who are trying to move around to get there and get back and get through security, this makes it so much easier to do that and plan around that. This is why people love coming here. One of the reasons why people love coming here.
And there's a mantra that we heard throughout the press conference and that we'll be hearing a lot this year.
It's what we do.
It's what we do. Yeah, that's the theme, and that certainly is true. So let's talk a little bit about numbers.
Okay.
We held the first Super Bowl in a dome stadium. We held the first Super Bowl played in prime time.
Right.
We had, I believe, the only game that pitted brother against brother as head coaches.
Right.
But more importantly, speaking of numbers, this is the 8th time that the Superdome will be the host site. No other stadium has held 8 Super Bowls. Caesars Superdome tops that list. And once again, you said the fan experience has been vastly improved. But as it was mentioned in the press conference, the building just looks sleek and modern and has all the great appeal that it had when it first opened.
You know, one of the interesting questions I got when we were in Vegas as we talked to people about what's next was to ask, compare Las Vegas to New Orleans. And you can't really compare the two, and we weren't going to try.
Right.
But one of the things we talked about was Las Vegas is a great place, but it's new. It's a very new experience. New Orleans has history, tradition, culture. I mean, that goes just back hundreds of years. All of that is what I think makes this city so special. And it will be the 50th anniversary of this building when that Super Bowl shows up. It's an iconic building. The fact that it's still relevant, it's still, able to host some of the world's biggest events in an environment where people are building all kinds of, new shiny stadiums.
Yeah.
It says a lot about the thought that went into planning this building, planning the location of it in the city, and the value it brings to an experience when you're trying to hold a world-class event.
And as I was speaking to Mike Haas ahead of our conversation this morning, he was mentioning the amount of events and meetings that take place in the Superdome that people just have no idea that goes on, and the multi-purpose nature of the Caesars Superdome and the vast range of events that will take place.
Yeah, when people think about the value of a Super Bowl being in your city, and we can talk about economic impact and some of the other things, but when you bring an event like that to this city, you are also auditioning for the next Super Bowl and all the other events that you can actually put on. So
absolutely.
So I think it's a great opportunity to showcase and remind people that we are here. We can do we do national championships, we do Saints, we do all of those things, but we can do all kinds of events here. And it's a great opportunity to remind the entire world that this is a great footprint for anything you want to do, any kind of event you want to put on.
2 more things I wanted to ask you about this morning. Talk about the worldwide exposure for the city of New Orleans, considering this is a globally televised event with the potential to top 150 million viewers.
Just think about the significance of that number, 150 million viewers. And so what that does for us, it reminds all of those people who love New Orleans that we're here and they want to come back. Those people who haven't been here, and you've probably experienced this, anywhere you go in the world, if you say New Orleans, people either say, I've been there and I love it, or that's where I want to go. And it's an opportunity to showcase us in a way that those who have been here will want to come back. Those who've always wanted to be here will have another reason to want to come. I think it's going to be great.
And we're consistently named one of the top places to visit in the world, and Super Bowl will give everybody another reason. The Super Bowl could be the catalyst for the economic drive that the city needs. What can the community do to close out our conversation? How can the greater community help beyond those of us who are serving as part of the host committee on various subcommittees?
Well, first, when you talk about impact, the economic impact of a Super Bowl is around $500 million. Now, the estimates on the gross economic impact for Vegas were as high as 1.1 billion. We'll see what those numbers, end up being. But that just shows you how impactful that event is for businesses and locals in terms of the value it brings here. But to your direct question about what can locals do, volunteer. Number one, we'll have tremendous opportunities for people to volunteer, whether it's volunteering and being part of the host committee, being part of the people who help put on all the number of events that we put on. Be the kind of welcoming host that we always are. I mean, people love this city because people love the people of New Orleans. People love the people of the state.
Yeah.
And so when you come here and people say hello to you, they treat you like family, that is valuable, and those experiences will take place in each individual interaction. The other thing is continue to be positive. I mean, this is a wonderful city. We've got great attributes, and we should be talking about all the wonderful things about our city, the culture, the people, the food, the city itself. We should be talking up our own city, pointing out the things that are really valuable and interesting about it. And our citizens are the best ones to do that because they know it best because they live it every day.
Well, with you at the leadership helm of the host committee, I think we're in good shape.
Well, I call myself Mr. Irrelevant because there are so many talented people who have done Super Bowls before involved in this. But I'm going to enjoy the journey. I'm going to enjoy the ride. Yeah.
Well, we're lucky to have you at the top, and how lucky are we to have the Super Bowl coming in just 11 months, 15 days and counting, because it's
what we do. It's what we do.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good luck, but buckle your seatbelt.
Okay, it's going to be a great ride.
It is.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, we'll see you next time.
All right.